Nice to see you, Maciej.
Nice to see you too. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and it's a pleasure for me, for us, Koźmiński students, to hear you today. From what I know about you, you started as an advertisement person, and then with over the years, from a big creativity you changed into architecture of marketing workers as a director of the spaces. And I know you have a perfect drive, and nowadays you are into AI and you see the changes in the world.
Yeah, absolutely. I spent my whole professional life in advertising, basically, and I learned my trade in classic agencies of the past, those big international groups with classic advertising, with just TV commercials or press advertising. Then I switched to digital when digital became a thing. And recently I switched again to AI. Right now I'm running a small cooperative which advises clients on how to implement AI, how to proceed with AI. We also make some campaigns based on AI. So I am in the thick of it.
Okay.
As they say.
So maybe let's start from the beginning, because we as the students, we are a people of beginning. My first question is how you developed this advertisement specialization, and what was the biggest myth of that time of your career, professional?
I mean, creativity is the thing which is the most important in that area, in life in general, I would say. Creativity is a funny thing because there is no one creativity. We tend to think, we tend to say, oh, this is creative or this is not creative, that person is creative, that person is not creative. But the problem is that there is no one creativity. Creativity has many shades, many variants. You can be a bit creative, you can be medium creative, and you can be highly creative. So it all depends on your talent, because I believe that creativity is not something you can fully learn. You can develop your natural abilities and become more and more creative if you put enough hard work into it. But you need to have a starting point, like with the painting or with the music. You can learn the music, but you have to have a bit of talent. Otherwise, you just play notes and don't evoke emotions in your audience. So you need to have a bit of talent at the beginning. But hard work is still very important and very necessary to develop creativity.
Okay. So my next question is about Asia, about your in your whole path. You went through Moscow, you went through Singapore, and other Asia countries, and in all of these places, you was more or less a constructor of advertisement, a creativity. How was your job as a translator between different cultures, between different people?
You need to learn specifics of the local culture, not only because you need to create communication which is based on real insights. Insight is a term we use often in advertising. It's kind of deep emotions which are inside us regarding certain situations or certain products. We need to dig deep to get those insights, and only then, if we get those insights, we can create successful communications. So you need to learn the culture to be able to do that successfully, but also you need to learn the culture to run to cooperate with creative people, because there are many peculiarities in other cultures when it comes to working with people on a project. For example, in Asia, there is a very prominent thing which is not openly admitted, but it's deeply engraved into the culture, which is a fear of failure. Like in Poland, most of us are a bit afraid of failure. But it's nothing comparing to what's in Asia, where failing is like losing face, like being treated as person who is not able to do the work properly. So in most of those cultures, there is this strong fear which you need to tackle, which you need to deal with to open up people to become creative. In United States, this is kind of a common thing. I mean, it's not a secret. The whole culture is based on being open to failure. You can fail in America. You can bankrupt, get bankrupt. You can be unsuccessful with your endeavors, yet still you'll be treated as a person with potential, because there, if you fail, it means that you learn something. You should learn something. In Asia, if you fail, that's the problem. So to run advertising agency in Asia, you need to embrace it. You need to encourage people, make them, in a sense, fearless. They should not fear the failure.
Okay, so it's all about learning.
Absolutely.
And how is the creativity connected with AI nowadays? Because you're an architecture of modern creativity.
Mm-hmm. That's a question we are asked a lot. The question is, most important question is, can AI be creative? And there is a hot debate on that. There are many camps. There are people who basically hate AI and say AI will never be creative. There are other people, I would call them realistic. I'm part of that camp. And I would say that AI can be creative. And with the development of AI, with new models being evolving and getting better and better, the creativity of AI will become more evident. In advertising, creativity is often something which is not this kind of a divine inspiration, although inspiration is important, but creativity is more about connecting the dots. Mm-hmm. So you have various cultural elements pre-existing, being part of the culture, and then you connect those elements in a novel way, interesting way, and that's the creativity which in advertising and in modern culture is important. It's not kind of a imagining or creating something completely new. It's about connecting things which are existing, but doing so in a very novel and interesting way. So you need to connect the dots, and surprise, surprise, AI is absolutely fantastic when it comes to connecting the dots, because AI knows basically everything. I mean, it was trained on the whole volume of human cultural achievements. AI knows every book, every poem, every movie, every film which was ever created. It has all those elements in mind. This is far more than humans can do. Even if we are deeply into the culture, reading constantly, getting new source of inspiration, we won't be able, our mental capacity is not enough to memorize, to know all the books created from the beginning of the civilization. AI can do that. And because of this huge volume of knowledge, which is part of every big model, for AI, connecting the dots is fairly simple. AI is exceedingly good at that, far better than any humans. So right now, I believe AI is pretty creative, and with the progress, with the new models, it become even more creative.
Okay, thank you. And this is truly inspiring. And the next thing is your project you started almost 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. Is that right?
Yeah.
And what is it all about?
Yeah. So basically, what we are doing, we are trying to open up our clients to the perspective of using AI more and more in communication, in marketing. We train our clients, showing them examples of work, what can be done with AI. We also create some campaigns, but quite recently we also embrace the art, because we believe that there is a revolution waiting to happen, not only in the sense that AI will create art. Again, this is something hotly debated. I'm standing on the position that AI can create a piece of art. 1 year ago, in 2024, painting made by model called Alan Turing something, I don't remember exactly, was sold in a very established auction house, Sotheby's, for over $1 million. Someone has bought it. So, yeah, the art is being created, AI art is being sold, but there is another angle of that revolution, which is super interesting, which is that we need to modernize, change the way we experience the art. Because when we go to the museum and when we see the painting, seeing the painting is just part of the experience. There are super interesting stories behind those paintings. Like, for example, there is this most expensive Polish painting by Jacek Malczewski called Reality, which was not so long ago sold for over 20 million zloty. This is the most expensive piece of art in Poland ever, over 20 million zloty. And this is the painting, if you probably evoke in your memory, how does it look like? This is the painting full of meanings which are not evident when you look at it. When you look at it, you see the mastery. I mean, the painter was able to show the specific situation, but there is super interesting meaning behind those obvious things, which AI can convey, can tell us. Because, for example, if we make the painting talk to us, if we make those characters painted describing why they are here, what is the reason of them being there, that would make the whole experience super interesting. I tell you about one project which I did recently. There was exhibition created for commemorating the success of Polish artists at a 1925 Paris exhibition. Polish artists 100 years ago went to Paris. It was exhibition of decorative arts. It was like Olympic Games for the art. And we went there, Polish artists, and we won across the board we were named on top of other countries. We came as the first country in terms of the number of awards we got. Not many people know about it, but more people should know about it. And we created an exhibition to commemorate that. And among the elements of these exhibitions, what was the avatar of Zofia Stryjeńska, who was one of the leading artists 100 years ago, and participants, visitors, could talk to Zofia Stryjeńska. It was avatar, video avatar. She was on the screen. We could ask her questions, and she answered those questions in real time. So it was like talking with a real person. And that's the revolution, because if we can talk with an artist, if we can embed all the knowledge, all the stories of that particular artist into that avatar, and if we can talk as a viewers to that avatar, that would give us completely different emotions.
Maciej, what's your definition of creativity? How do you understand creativity?
There is no one creativity. Creativity has many faces, many names, and many levels. I firmly believe that you can have someone who is a bit creative, you can have someone who's medium creative, and you have obviously people who are very, very creative. Mm-hmm. But those levels are varying. I mean, those are different levels. There are no two people having the same amount of creativity. And this is important because we always, we quite often talk about creativity like it was a thing which is either there is or there is not. Mm-hmm. No, there are different levels. And creativity in advertising is connecting the dots. Creativity in advertising is taking bits and pieces of culture and smashing those bits and pieces against each other, connecting them in a new, novel, interesting ways. Mm-hmm. And that's something which is creative. Because the reason for that is very simple. When you have like 30-second TV commercial, or if you have a digital ad which lasts for 15 seconds, or even if you have TikTok ad or some kind of endorsement, you don't have time to explain everything. You need to have bits and pieces people are familiar with, being mm-hmm. part of the culture, and connect those bits and pieces, and to successfully communicate what you want to communicate in 30 seconds or in 15 seconds. So contrary to the common belief, creativity is not creating something completely new, it's connecting something which is already known in a novel and interesting way.
My students already know that I'm a huge fan of Joseph Schumpeter, and the combinatorial power of creativity mm-hmm. is one of my favorite concepts, and it is totally aligned with what you've just said. Question: now we are talking about marketing mm-hmm. and marketing automation, mm-hmm. and my impression is that there is so many mechanistic, very operational things in mm-hmm. marketing. Does it isn't the contradiction that we are talking about making humanity more creative, and then we automate things, and this is not so creative?
The procedure, mm-hmm. the ways you come with a concept for the product, for example, are kind of standardized. So you need to, for example, make market research at the beginning. With that knowledge, you need to make market segmentation. You need to come up with a product concept for specific market segment. And then you need to come up with a communication, and many parts of those processes, of this process, can be automated. It doesn't contradict creativity, because for example, you take some kind of view on what people want, what people might want. You can create market research based on that belief. And this market research, funny thing, can be automated too. Recently, with my colleague Piotr Bombol, we create a podcast, Eye on AI, where we talked with market practitioners, communication practitioners. And recently, we talked to a very nice guy from the research. He's a researcher for a big company. And it was kind of a shock for our audience that many elements of market research can be automated. He described the situation when we research the audience, but the audience is not physical, living, breathing audience. The audience is a construct within a computer, with the AI model. So AI model represents the humans with the attitudes, beliefs, opinions, and you check the concept for the product, simply checking, putting it into AI model, and AI model basically brings you an answer. Yes, this is the valid concept. You can proceed with that. People will like it, or say, no, it's not valid concept.
I assume that even they give you the percentage of what's the
probability
of
something. Totally. So those are not mutually exclusive things. You can automate, and I believe that marketing and advertising will be almost completely automated in like 10 years' time. It's not a popular view in marketing and advertising circles, but I certainly believe so. And humans will work in specific fragments of this process. They will, of course, make decisions. AI models will bring them possible options, and they will decide, okay, let's continue with option A, and then the automated process will carry on to the next checkpoint, where the humans again take the decision. But there is nothing, in my view, as a person who was living and breathing advertising for 20 plus years, there is nothing in that part, in that realm, which excludes almost complete automation.
Okay. So the next challenge is about data-driven customer personas, for example. Now it's possible to just take data and you can generate the persona. Are you a fan of this kind of solution?
I see possibility. I see that those personas can represent real people, and there are scientific researches, a number of those which confirms that. I just want to remind all of us that in 2016 there was a huge kind of affair called Cambridge Analytica affair. Like I would say that was like the most like the outburst of drama, but okay. Cambridge Analytic drama. This is better word. And it was basically Joseph Kosinski, Polish scientist, working at Stanford University. He developed algorithms for AI model, which can analyzing Facebook likes.
Tu zrobimy stop. Michał Kosiński.
Michał Kosiński.
Właśnie się widzieliśmy. Jeszcze raz odpowiedź. Czyli ja jeszcze dobra, to zrobimy tak. Okay, so
może ja po prostu. So interesting thing is that Polish scientist Michał Kosiński working at Stanford. In 2016, he was able to create an algorithm for AI model, which was able to predict the political views based on just few likes on Facebook. It was less than 10 likes for each person. And based on that, this algorithm can suggest a communication which would change the political views of those people. And some say that it was because of that, also because of that, Mr. Trump won the first election, the first term. So definitely market research is a valid option. Since 2016, all those algorithms improved a lot. So today we are getting the data which resembles the real attitudes of real people even closer.
Yeah, when you reminded this well-established research, I'm always worried about the perception of how to use data, the socio-graphics and the psychometrics in our organization. It's like
it's a Pandora box, definitely.
Yeah.
There are many nefarious uses, but also there are many uses which will improve the quality of communication, the quality of advertising. So it's double-edged sword, like basically with everything which is connected to AI.
So with this analogy to this word, it means that AI is still just a tool, and there's this human tool.
In a sense, yes. Yeah, some models, simpler models, we can describe it as a tool, but those more complex models, like we using in marketing and communication, I would go definitely beyond calling them tools. I would call them co-worker because the breadth and depth and richness of concepts I'm getting from the models goes far beyond being the tool. If I prompt the model in a correct way, I will get things which I would not expect, some surprising answers, some answers which I would never come by myself. So for me, from my perspective, trying not to anthropomorphize, very complex word, yet AI for me is definitely in certain uses more than tool.
Yeah, actually there's a typology, MIT's typology on AI, and it's like tool, assistive technology, then we have peer-to-peer, and then technology as your manager. So for example, the traffic light that is controlled by the algorithm. And of course, nowadays we are talking about co-piloting as well, navigating you. Question. So, after all the stories, data-driven approach to AI and to business, is there anything that cannot be replaced by AI?
Again, this is perhaps not the most popular view there is, but I believe that in advertising, in art, AI has a potential to replace those who are average. So average artists, average creatives would probably at some point replaced. Those who are absolutely the best on top of the games, top 10% of artists or top 10% of creatives, they don't have to worry too much. But rest of us, we need to think really hard about what we are doing and what's the future. Because, again, we tend to analyze, to think about the current state, what's the current moment, and we like criticizing AI. Oh, it's hallucinating. Oh, it's something like it would be ever like this. No. It will definitely change. It's changing immensely if we remind ourselves how those first images or videos created by AI looked like 2 or 3 years ago. It was laughable. It was nothing like a real thing. And now we see things which we cannot distinguish from reality in 3 years. So imagine what will happen in 10 years' time, because there is no wall, there is no like finish line. AI will be evolving constantly. There is this famous quote by Wayne Gretzky, famous Canadian hockey player. And when people ask him what's the reason, what's the story behind your success, Gretzky used to answer, I don't skate to where the puck is. I'm skating to where the puck will be. Jadę tam, gdzie krążek będzie. And that's good advice for all of us. We should be skating to where the puck will be, not concentrate on where the puck is and like finding problems and finding things which AI cannot do right now. It will be able to do those things which it cannot do right now. So we need to think about the future in terms of this constant progress.
Any other practical recommendations to our students of how to stay curious, creative, and original?
Curiosity is probably the most important thing, like this unquenched, constant state of being curious. Another thing is not to get frustrated to the point of being disappointed with AI, because frustration is a normal thing. Like when I'm creating a project and I imagine the kind of an end game, like how it should look like, getting there is full of frustration, because at the beginning, the results I'm getting usually are not that great. I need to improve my prompts. I need to find the ways. There is no one model which can give me everything I want. The number of models which are good, each model is good, exceedingly good at certain thing, but not so good in some other areas. So I need to use a number of models to get there. But the end result is absolutely magical. I can do things I was never able to do in the past, and having this possibility to create something fairly cheaply, fairly quickly, all by myself, because I'm this kind of creative person who's a bit one man's band. I love being responsible for the final results. And for that kind of people, the AI is a blessing. We creatives, or people who be most successful with AI in the future, are those people who can orchestrate, who can be like conductors for the orchestra of various models to deliver the results they aim for.
Okay, and the last question, let's play the future. The last question is about imagining the future of our students. So just imagine that we have, for example, Michał. He's about to finish his BA studies. Yeah. Exactly. So what would be your advice to him?
Oh, that's the tough one, because advising on the future of actual people is something really challenging. You need to be responsible. But I don't believe that we'll live in a world where specific, very domain kind of oriented knowledge is that important. I think that the ability to work with AI, the ability to get the results from AI, staying curious, trying to figure out a place for yourself and for your future. It's more important almost than very detailed and very specific domain specific type of knowledge. This knowledge, I mean, AI is already phenomenally good when it comes to domain specific knowledge. It's far better than any living human. AI knows all the papers from the past and from the present. AI knows all the details of scientific research. Something we'll never be able to memorize as humans. But again, connecting those results, being able to create, like with the culture, I said previously, that we have elements, bits and pieces of the culture, and creativity is ability to connect those bits and pieces in a novel, interesting way. So I believe that this specific skill of being able to connect various bits and pieces delivered by AI in a novel and creative way, that's the future. That's what we should aim for.
Wow, thank you. So it was a conversation about creativity, curiosity, data-driven personas, and also a bit of hockey and other sports. Thank you very much.
Thank you.